Thank you for joining us. It is Saturday, April the 16th, and we're live here at Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130, every Saturday morning for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering of the We Team with RE/MAX Advantage Plus, and I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus as well. Thanks for joining us. If you're catching us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you might be seeing us or catching a replay of the show, we definitely appreciate it. We're here live Saturday, again, 10 to 11, talking all things real estate related, mortgage related. We welcome your questions, comments, thoughts. So throughout the show, don't hesitate if you've got really any questions at all about the market, about what's going on for buyers and sellers. You can comment or 612-294-6949 is how you can join us by phone or text, 612-294-6949. Thanks for tuning in. It is, again, it's almost tax deadline. I think the tax deadline was extended till the 18th. So everybody's got 2 more days, or at least through Monday. Anyway, with that, but want to welcome on my friend, Mr. Steve Stalock as well. Steve is with us here today. A lot going on. Good to see you, bud. Thanks for driving in.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Nice sunny day. A little chilly, but that's Minnesota.
It is. It's hard to believe. It is still feels like winter here in Minnesota, mid-April. But what do? You just kind of roll with it, I guess. That's all we can do some days. But again, if you're catching us for the first time or you watch more frequently every weekend, thank you for doing that. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest, you have questions, mnrealestateshow.com is where you can go to see all of our great partners that help our clients in all aspects of the buying and selling business. And already had a few text message questions come in, which we're going to be diving into here in just a second. And we're also getting ready to go live on air. So throughout the show, first segment, again, we normally do a market update just to give you some numbers, interest rate wise and real estate wise too, just to help you understand what are going on with the market conditions. And you got a coffee, Steve. I got a coffee. Hopefully you've had your cup of Java this morning for all of our fellow coffee drinkers. But it will be a fun show. We're going live on air right now. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Good morning. Welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Saturday, April 16th. And we are live here at Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130, every Saturday morning for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Scott Wolmering of the We Team with RE/MAX Advantage Plus, Mike Overson with Luminate Home Loans. My name is Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We are live every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130, for all things real estate related. Want to welcome on today my friend Steve Stalock of Win Home Inspection, longtime friend, preferred partner, just an all-around great guy. Thanks for being here, Steve.
Hey, it's a great day, and I'm glad to be here.
A lot of good stuff going on, and a lot to talk about today. You can join our discussion at any point, 612-294-6949 by phone or by text, 612-294-6949. Happy to take your question on air. Either way, or again, if you're joining us really on any social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, we are live as well, and we welcome your questions. There's never any dumb questions at all, so really anything that's on your mind, whether it's a complicated real estate question or whether you feel like it's super basic, there are certainly no dumb questions at all, and we welcome your interaction throughout the show. Steve, I was mentioning we had a couple texts that came in right before the show, so we might dive into those if that's all right.
That sounds perfect. Let's go.
Yeah, first one came in. This was just this morning that said, my daughter is selling her house in between the airport and Lake Nokomis. And in 3 days of being on the market, they had an offer and a signed purchase agreement. The next morning, the buyers backed out, stating they decided on another house. 2 days later, they were under contract with another buyer contingent on inspection. They also backed out, stating that they decided on a different house. I was always told you could only bid on one home at a time. Shouldn't these buyers are doing multiples, shouldn't they forfeit their earnest money? Isn't this illegal and unethical? And how can she, my daughter, hold a buyer to the signed purchase agreement? First of all, really sorry to hear that. It's super frustrating. And from your question regarding buyers making multiple offers at the same time, you are exactly right. In good faith, the buyer cannot and should not be offering on multiple properties at one time unless they can actually legally and ethically and honestly perform on that property. In other words, Steve, a buyer can't just spray out 10 purchase agreements on 10 different properties and then decide what happens and then pull their cards and move them around left and right and then leave everybody else kind of hanging in the lurch. You are exactly right. You didn't mention, I didn't get your first name in the text, but it is not, you cannot do that. And I think from an agent standpoint, just know that agents have a code called the Realtor Code of Ethics, the National Association Code of Ethics, that requires agents that are realtors to operate under this code. And so with this code of ethics, being honest and straightforward with your dealings with consumers, with the public, is a very important part of that. And so I understand in this market, we're going to talk about the market numbers and why people would do that. But in this type of situation, you have to have a pre-approval letter from a lender. For example, say it's Mike Overson with Luminate. Well, Mike, in good faith, can't write a pre-approval letter for 5 different homes unless the buyer actually can afford to buy those 5 different homes. Sounds simple and basic. Does that make sense, Steve?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it speaks to the intensity of the market, the pressure that buyers are under. So what are the rules and what's the law regarding refunding that earnest money?
Yeah, good point. Thank you to get to the following point. And so from a return of earnest money, if it's contingent on an inspection, so they can have a home inspection. For example, they hire someone like Steve to come in to view the property. The buyer, anytime during that home inspection, can back out for any reason at all. It could be related to the home inspection. Perhaps Steve does the inspection, finds something serious. Maybe Steve does the home inspection and there's nothing very serious, but the buyer wakes up and says, you know what, we just decided this is not the right property for us for whatever reason. During that home inspection time period, the buyer can back out for any reason. And so again, can be super frustrating for the seller, especially if there's not really a legitimate reason why they're backing out, or they don't give you an opportunity to try to make it right. They just say, hey, we're going to cancel the purchase agreement. If there's no inspection contingency on the property, then there's a little more kind of hook in the deal, if you will, that the buyer just can't arbitrarily kind of pick up and say, yeah, you know what, we don't want to buy your house anymore. If they say that, then again, it goes to the financing contingency, and we have to look at what was in that purchase agreement. In this case, with your daughter, it sounds like they're working with a very good agent. Hopefully he or she can help them look at that financing contingency as well. But if it was just an inspection contingency, Steve, as we know, buyers can back out.
Yeah, they don't like, who knows, the color of the kitchen.
Right.
You really don't need a reason, right?
You're right.
Yeah,
there can be a lot of stuff, and it can be very frustrating. I hope that helps out with your question. I'm sorry to hear about what's going on. What I would say is just get the home back active again on MLS. Let's find a new buyer. find a new buyer. I know many buyers are not doing a home inspection or making a contingent on a home inspection as well in this market, which we'll talk about some of those numbers. But I had another question that came in here that says, good morning. What would you say to a buyer that has put in so many offers and wants to give up? What would you say? Well, if Scott was here, he may. I try to think of what Scott may not have kind of the soft and understanding version.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
No, it is. I understand. Believe me, I completely understand with agents on the Minnesota real estate team, talking to team members every day who are doing, we're doing our best to help buyers in this market. There's a lot of buyers in first-time home buyer price ranges, 350 and under, 400 and under in a lot of areas. FHA financing buyers are veterans, are dear veterans, who oftentimes are putting zero down. There's a lot of reasons why some buyers may be having a harder time getting deals done in situations like that. It's frustrating, super frustrating. What I would say is, again, as I've mentioned over the years with the show, kind of a small landlord here in the Twin Cities. I've seen it with, personally, but also friends I know who are landlords with rising rents continuing to go up. A lot of new buildings, a lot of these new buildings popping up. We're over in St. Louis Park here. Every time I drive into the show, I see 2 or 3 of these brand new apartment complexes that a lot of these hedge funds and companies around the country are coming in, putting in because of the rental demand here in the Twin Cities. Even with the rising interest rates, which we're going to talk about, values, it is still less expensive to own than to rent here in the Twin Cities market. And so I would say, stay focused. Look at your offers. Be sure your team, your agent is really looking, reviewing the offer, saying, what did you do on that offer? Did you, all aspects, earnest money, financing, types of financing, inspection. There's our team, we literally have like 25 different things you can look at with the offer that kind of evaluates the offer. Be sure you're hitting as many of those 25 things as possible. You may, for example, be doing 3 of them. You may be doing 4 of them. Look at doing as many of them as possible, and then stay persistent with it. The last thing I would say is have your agent be looking for off-market or pre-MLS opportunities as well. With our brokerage, Steve, we have a lot of with over 500 agents, a lot of really strong listing agents. We've got a lot of internal inventory that's only available to agents at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Be sure your agent is plugging in with a lot of these non-MLS opportunities because there's a ton of non-MLS happening.
Yeah, I often inspect properties that are not on the MLS. That's pretty common. And also I try to get the pulse of the market, with my clients, and I'll ask, how long have you been looking? That kind of thing. And it is really common where they tell me, oh, this is the 14th offer that it's really competitive. And so if you're on your 12th, 13th, 14th offer, just understand that's pretty typical right now.
You're right. Yep, you're right. You are certainly not alone. As Steve said, a lot of other people going through that. Going through some questions. We're at the first break already. I've got a number of listings to hit on today. We're going to get to our market update right after the break of number of listings as well as interest rates. Don't hesitate to join us. Any questions? 612-294-6949. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate it. And again, whether you're catching us for the first time or weekly, we appreciate it. It is Easter weekend. Happy Easter to everyone. Easter weekend. It's a cold one there, Steve. And we're going to talk market conditions here in a little bit. But you had an interesting discussion with a couple team members this week.
Yeah. The market is obviously always changing, and I'm always trying to figure out, is it still going to stay as competitive? And I'm starting to get some mixed signals. So maybe that's a positive sign that we're going to get back towards something a little more normal. I'm not seeing it yet,
Right.
but I'm hopeful.
Right. Yeah. It hopeful is a good thing. Interest rates, and we'll talk about this a little bit before going back live on air. But just looking again, conventional 30-year rates, right in the high fours, 4.75, 4.4 and 7/8. A conventional 15-year mortgage, 5.375, so over 5%. A conventional with 3% down. Again, with the conventional mortgages, you can go as low as 3% down. Steve, almost 5.5 on that. That's the highest number I've seen in a while. FHA, 30 years, the low fives for this. VA, 30 years, right around 5%. So rising interest rates. This is noticeably higher, considerably higher than where we were at just at the start of the year. From a inspection demand, Steve, how has this year been? Has this been super slow?
I wouldn't say super slow. It's been real streaky.
Yeah.
But my numbers are down compared to, I've been in the business 21 years now. And compared to all the other years, it's slower. And I'm doing different types of transactional inspections where I get hired after they've closed. So, at that point, it's like, okay, in order to get the house, that was my 15th offer.
Sure.
Now they hire me and they say, okay, what did I get myself into?
Right.
And they want to learn about the house, which I see a lot of merit in that. Or I'm still doing the occasional tag along during a showing, just another set of eyes. It's not an inspection, but the tag along.
Yeah.
And try and give them a sense of, at least what can you tell me in 30 minutes being in the house?
Are you doing less inspections than last year?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like half as many, Steve, would you say?
I'd say maybe a third off on numbers, but it started softening last year.
Yeah.
It was a normal market until about March or April. And then it started to really taper.
Here we go. We're going back live on air. Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Don't hesitate. You got questions? We'll take them. Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Hope your weekend's going well. Thanks for tuning in to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Every Saturday, we're here 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Had a good question during the break come in again. What would you say to a buyer that has put in so many offers and wants to give up? Had a great comment. Cecilia, an awesome agent on the Minnesota real estate team, she commented, she said, I tell my buyers to not give up, even if it's frustrating. Don't give up. What's yours and no one else can take it from you. And then oftentimes they end up getting the amazing house that they want. So that's partly it. It's just having an agent. That's persistent, Steve. Like Cecilia, that's going to do a great job.
Exactly. And some of my clients right now that I'm inspecting for, they have chosen not to put their house on the market yet. So there has to be a lot of houses that will be coming on soon.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the normal flow, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right, and that's a good lead in to inventory. What are the numbers here in the Twin Cities? Where are things at? New listings in the Twin Cities up very slightly compared to last year. 1,500 new listings. Pending sales down 11%, so 11% less accepted purchase agreements compared to last year. At this time, 1,238. And then the overall inventory, as it has been the last couple of months, down almost 12%. There are about 4,986, almost 5,000 homes for sale here in the Twin Cities. And interesting, thought I would share this too, that they said as home prices continue to rise, the share of homes that are experiencing price reductions has also grown, with 25 of the 50 largest metro areas reporting an increase in price reductions last month, which is up from 18 markets in February. So this may be an early sign that the housing market is moderating somewhat. I do see some of this happening where there is maybe it's a little less crazy for the multiple offers on listings. That's another reason why, if you are a buyer, don't give up hope, because in fact there is a little less competition. Some people, Steve, from an interest rate standpoint, and again with the rising rates, are looking at some of these ARM products, the 5-1 ARM, 7-1, 10-1 ARM. So with interest rates, which we will touch on here, again, almost everything's kind of right around near the 5% mark. 30-year fixed conventional, 4.75, 15-year conventional, 5.375, a conventional 3% down, 5.5%. FHA 30-year 5.25, VA 30-year 5%. Rising rates, Steve, are more people going to look at doing the 5, 7, 10-year to try to take advantage of those lower rates to allow them to buy more house?
Most likely. It's an amazing thing, though. The market pressures do work, the supply demand, and you're seeing it in action right now.
Yeah. So with those rising prices, the other interesting thing that they mentioned on these weekly numbers, they said that the median national home price recently hit a new high, Steve, an all-time high of $405,000 in March. $405,000 in March. It's a 13.5% increase annually. Over $400,000 nationally.
You tell me, what does that mean? Well, now I'm at a loss.
Well, the interesting thing again too, I had a longer discussion with a friend, a radio listener this week, who we were talking just about kind of everything in the world, with the state of the world, with inflation, with rising interest rates, with the market, with rising values. What's going to happen? What is going to happen? What's the big picture? And it's interesting. I was talking to Joe Mack on our team, and at times everybody can feel a sense of unease as agents. You're kind of like, hey, are things going to stay busy or not stay busy, or what's going on? And I kind of joked with Joe, which is true. I feel like every time throughout the year I can talk to someone on our team, and there may be a sense of unease. In other words, it could be the middle of winter. It could be the dead of summer. Part of that is, as a real estate agent, your business is kind of up and down a little bit. But again, I still see a lot of demand in our market personally.
We're in the Twin Cities. We're the population is high, so there's always going to be that demand. So, I can see how that might fluctuate from agent to agent.
Yeah, had another question that came in. Again, you're welcome at any point to text these questions in 612-294-6949. Again, 612-294-6949. Question is, I am a VA buyer. Do I have to do 0% down? You don't have to do just 0% on a VA loan. You can do 0% down. We've seen some VA buyers that will do 5, 10, 15, 20 or more down as well. But the VA loan product is one that allows for a 0% down, Steve.
That's nice. So as you're putting more down, the rates then fluctuate?
Yeah.
Or they're adjusted?
Yeah.
So the more down, I would assume the rate's going to be a little bit better?
Yeah, and that's where, again, I think it's probably most common for VA buyers, where it is a 0 down. But in some cases, that is people still want to use that VA benefit, VA home loan, and in fact do that. Steve, we're talking inspections as well, and we were talking about the difference for your business this year. You said so you're doing about a third less home inspections than last year at this time. Yeah,
I'm still staying busy. I'm making a living, but it's just weird. It's very streaky. I often will I'll kind of pencil in appointments onto my calendar. People are submitting offers. They believe they're very strong. It's not, oh, there's only 2 or 3 other offers. And then, I get message either Sunday night or Monday morning that, oh, we didn't get the house. So, since my calendar isn't as overrun as it had been in past years, I'm more willing to say, well, I'll hold a Wednesday morning slot for you. And, on any given Sunday night, my calendar will be booked for the week. And then come Monday morning, 4 or 5 of them drop off. That's just kind of the norm right now.
So are you doing, with home inspectors, we're hearing a lot of where they'll do the kind of walking with the buyer at the showing itself. Talk about that. I mean, have you ever done that in the history of your home inspection business?
No.
And how does that work? You mean from a price or cost or,
Right.
or whatnot?
So that is a relatively new phenomenon because we haven't had to do it. And basically think of me as like, okay, your second showing, you're getting serious. You're pretty sure you're going to be putting an offer in. So you want maybe your Uncle Eddie to tag along because Uncle Eddie is, familiar with houses and whatnot.
Right.
Well, think of me as actually Uncle Eddie, who's been trained in home inspection over the years,
Right.
to tag along. You get 30 minutes or whatever the appointment. I've had a couple that were 60-minute appointments, but I'm just tagging along during the showing, not inspecting. I'm not going to be going into the attic or walking the roof or that kind of stuff, but just another set of eyes to go through, point out clear and obvious safety hazards, try and determine the age of the major things, and provide them an idea of what's happening in this house so that when they do submit the offer, that they have at least a little bit more than zero knowledge of the home.
Yeah, I can't encourage you enough. If you are a home buyer out there, I am an uncle getting together with the O'Neill family today, but nothing against hiring your uncle, but hire a professional. Hire a home inspector, someone like Steve that really can do this valuable service for you. I was working with a client recently who had someone like their uncle who came through, probably a very well-intentioned person. They ended up moving into the house a month or 2 afterwards, all kinds of issues that popped up.
Sure.
And I know we've got a caller here too. Maybe we'll go to that right now. But in this case, I felt that this uncle really kind of did a disservice because they found some significant problems. Well, and that's hard.
And I can speak to that too, where I will offer the walkthrough, showing consultation, and then I'll offer post-closing a somewhat reduced fee, full inspection. And there are going to be things that even I cannot find during a walkthrough that I will find. And that happened recently.
Sure.
Where I did the walkthrough, explained things that I saw. They were very well informed, and then followed up with the inspection. And I found some rather significant issues later,
right?
Because I took off the panel covers of the electric panels and I started running plumbing. You put the house through its paces and things show up.
Hey, before the break, I wanted to go to Mr. David Meyer called us. So David is an awesome agent on the Minnesota real estate team. By the way, within our team, we kind of have a fun thing every month just to recognize agents who are selling a certain amount. We have a little traveling trophy for the #1 agent for each month. And Mr. David Meyer, was the big winner for March. David, you called in here today and you got some comments or thoughts for us too regarding the market.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
Doing well, buddy. Doing well.
Hey, the flood run is going on today, in case you were not aware of that.
Ooh, very nice.
You know what that is?
Tell us more.
You don't have any idea, do you?
I'm guessing it's fun.
It's a motorcycle ride. They start in Lakeland and they ride down to Red Wing and back, or maybe even a little further. But it's 29 degrees right now, so my 2 wheels are staying in the garage.
Oh, very nice, man. Very nice. Very nice. What are you seeing with the market, David?
Just some unpredictability here. So, you're talking talking about multiple offers and whatever. So I had a property that we had listed over in Wisconsin, right in the Prescott area. Nice home, it wasn't brand new, but it was nicely updated and, had everything it needed, and certainly a decent property sitting on 3 acres with a 50 by 20 pole shed. Just a nice piece of property, really nice piece of property. And this is the type of thing that I've had buyers looking for this stuff, and you can't get in fast enough. They're selling before they go coming soon, and they're sold before they go live. And we had one showing. It was weird. We had one showing on Saturday morning. They offered just slightly above list price, and it worked out great. But I thought we were going to be, people tripping over each other walking through showings, and it didn't happen. And I had another one where I had a cash buyer, an investor, starter home range. It was I think $220,000 or $230,000 house, something like that. And he went 15 or 20 above list. Cash buyer, closing 17 days, no inspection, no closing cost, no nothing. 25 offers.
Wow. Wow.
He didn't even come close. So It's just really unpredictable. When buyers are asking me right now, what's going to get this house sold, it's really hard to tell them, because it's really hard to say. You just don't know. You just don't. Some houses you think they're going to have 5 or 6 or 10 offers on them, and they get 2. And others you don't think they're going to get anything, and they've got 15.
Well, that's good.
Hard to predict.
It's a good comments. The unpredictability of the market. We're at a break here, David. But appreciate you calling in, bud. Congrats on again top selling agent on the Minnesota real estate team for March. Awesome job, my friend.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Can I make one quick plug?
Absolutely.
1934 Ramada just went live. It's in Lake St. Croix Beach. A cute little cottage style house. 2 bedrooms in there. $199,900. Look it up. 1934 Ramada Avenue South.
$199,900.
Yep.
Well, very cool. Very cool. Well, happy Easter to you, David. Hope you and Melissa and the family have a great weekend. Okay.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye. Hey, we're up against the halfway point already here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Appreciate you joining us. 612-294-6949. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hopefully you could hear the call okay. David just commenting about the unpredictability of the market. And that is oftentimes the case, depending upon area, price range, location, pricing of the property. So many variables. That's why you need a really good agent to help you analyze that, at least to look at the buyer demand, to look at what your competition is. Those types of things, Steve, all really important.
Yeah. What I found very interesting from David was there is someone who's plugged in, really top-notch agent, and they have to admit, we don't understand this market completely. That's tough.
Right.
That's really tough. And you said it's a crazy market. Well, maybe it's backing off. It's only partly crazy.
Right.
So it's still a fantastic market, but wow.
Yeah, and from a question standpoint, again, mnrealestateshow.com is where you can go throughout the week if you've got questions, comments, thoughts, to meet all of our great partners like Steve Stalock that help our clients, help team members with transactions. Please don't hesitate to reach out to any of them really at any time. I know Mike Overson and his team with Luminate Home Loans, they've been extremely busy. Even in this market, again, with rising interest rates, with rates a little bit higher, still seeing a good amount of activity. So, but please don't hesitate to reach out, mnrealestateshow.com. If you're looking for a market analysis, you're a buyer looking to purchase, we would love to work with you. We've got a top agent on the team that would love to help you. Had another question, Steve, that came in. This one was regarding FHA offers. And Kim had mentioned just saying, can she pay more than the appraised value for an FHA offer? Do you know the answer to that one?
I would think yes, if you got the cash.
Interesting. Yes. So FHA in the purchase agreement has a provision where you have an out if it doesn't appraise. Okay, you have that out. And so a lot of times sellers don't like FHA offers because of that. However, there is a provision in the purchase agreement that does give the buyer the ability to move forward regardless of the appraised value. Don't see it a lot, Steve, but sometimes you'll see it where people will pay a little bit more.
I would have to believe we're seeing that on occasion in this market
You're right.
compared to probably didn't see it 5 years
So
ago.
adding specific language, what they call kind of appraisal gap language that talks about how much the buyer will pay above the appraised value if in fact the property does not appraise. Interesting. Very interesting, isn't it?
Very, to me, being a realtor is pretty complicated. All of this contract stuff and, adapting to the
Right.
conditions. How do you guys make a living, really?
What is the cost, Steve, for that quick inspection or the short inspection?
Yeah, I budget at least an hour for those walkthroughs, even if the appointment's half an hour, there's going to be a half hour, conversation at the curb. The fee for that's $200.
Yeah.
And then I do offer a slight reduction if they get the house and close. I'll offer maybe 150 off on a full inspection.
Sure.
If they move forward later.
Right.
And I'd strongly suggest that because, like I mentioned, I did one of those recently, and I did find damaged wiring, burnt wiring in a sub panel. Master bathroom jetted tub that was more of a water feature than a motor. So, those are things I won't find during a walkthrough.
That is, the importance of doing a home inspection, even the walkthrough, as Steve's talking about, prior to an accepted offer. Very important because, again, here we go. We're going back live on air. Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Hey, welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in. If you're joining us, we do appreciate it. If you're catching us on social media, thank you. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever it might be. Thanks for tuning in to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We're taking questions, comments, thoughts, a lot to talk about. One to touch on, we've got a few new listings. Mr. Tim Lee, awesome agent with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus, has a brand new one. This one's in Brooklyn Center, 4200 Joyce Lane in Brooklyn Center. It's listed at $263,999. It is a one-story home, and it has got almost 2,000 square feet, built in 1961. Tim said this home's large, updated windows let the natural light in, pour into the living spaces, as well as supply great views of both yards. The home offers hardwood floors on the main level, newer windows throughout, lower level entertaining room, a fourth non-conforming bedroom in the lower level, needs egress windows, nice sized deck, ready for that summer barbecue. We will have summer here eventually in Minnesota. A great driveway with a nice 2-car heated garage. Again, check that out. That's in Brooklyn Center, 4200 Joyce Lane. That just went active on the market here today, $263,999, $263,999. That is the first one. Next one, this is a pretty cool one. It's in Minneapolis, 4016 37th Avenue South. And it's a 2-bed, 1-bath home, 1,292 square feet. This is listed with Costa Nacios, awesome agent on the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. And just a little backstory on this. This is the third property that's been bought and renovated by a company called Moonstone, Minnesota, which is he and his wife Lydia's company. And he mentioned this is Lydia's favorite home. He's got an open house today from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Price on this is $375,000. And he described it as a classic 2-story. It's been completely and beautifully renovated to include a gorgeous new kitchen, large windows, cabinets, tiled backsplash, quartz countertops, stainless steel appliances, a complete new upper level bathroom, all new lighting, freshly painted interior, exterior, new windows, AC unit, lighting. It's got a huge oversized 2-car garage and a ton of charm. It's got walkability to public transportation shops, easy access to freeways. It's in the Longfellow neighborhood. Again, $375,000. This one has been completely renovated, 2-bed, 1-bath. Costa Nacios has this listed. Open house here today, Saturday, April 16th, 11 to 1. How about that one there, Steve?
That one sounds pretty intriguing.
Completely renovated.
Yeah.
Very nice. And last, Karen Lunzer. Again, awesome agent, the Minnesota real estate team. Remax Advantage Plus. This one's in Rosemont, 324-9, 15047 December Way in Rosemont, Steve. It's a 3-bed, updated end townhome, meticulously clean, new flooring throughout, tons of natural light, newer appliances, mechanicals. You get an open house today at 1:30, 15047 December Way. This one is brand new on the market as well, priced for $324,900. How about some new listings there, Steve?
Sounds good. I've inspected quite a few townhomes over in that Rosemont area, and that actually sounds familiar. The neighborhood, I think there's a lot of streets that start with D over there.
Yeah, you're right.
So December, yeah, nice properties.
Hey, I've got a wish as well before the break. My dear friend, Mr. Kevin Curtis, a happy birthday. Kevin has been an agent on the Minnesota real estate team, I think the longest for anyone, I think since our team started in 2005, 17 years. I've had the good fortune of working with this young man. Wonderful guy, awesome real estate agent. Every year he qualifies for our team's top producer trip. We do a fun trip. If an agent sells a certain amount, the agent and guest go on the trip. Kevin, I think, has made it every year. He's a wonderful dad to two great daughters. Just a all around class act, friend to many in the industry, not only on our team but just in the market. Steve, happy birthday, Kevin! Happy birthday! Cheers to many more. What a great guy!
So that's quite an accomplishment to be top producer every year. Wow.
Especially in the markets, the crazy markets over 17 years. A lot of short sales, a lot of bank-owned property, tons of listings on the market, nothing selling, no listings on the market. So that's why, again, people say, well, geez, I'm unsure. Well, one thing I'm sure about is that the market's going to keep moving forward and deals keep happening.
Yeah, people are living their lives. They need houses. So, we talked earlier about people who, should I give up? Well, there's a lot of people living temporarily who can't. If you're living in your parents' basement and you're 30 some years old, married, 2 kids, that temporary living situation can't go on. You have to persevere.
You're right.
So
You're exactly right.
There are people out there buying.
We're up already at the 3/4 point of the show. We've got one final segment, and anytime throughout the week, you can call us 612-294-6949. If you're looking to buy or sell a house, we've got an awesome agent on the Minnesota real estate team within a few hours of the Twin Cities, wherever you might be. And don't be fooled. There is a lot of activity still happening in our market, even with our team, from a small microcosm of the market. Every day I'll see 10, 11, 12, 15 new accepted purchase agreements happening by top agents on our team. So stuff is happening. Wherever you might be, we'd be honored to help you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Steve, do you have any tips for folks as we kind of head to the home stretch? I know I've been throwing a number of different things at you. Tips for existing homeowners or for people in the home inspection world thinking about that home inspection, doing its inspection or not?
Well, obviously, I'm a little biased. Do the inspection. And I know I work with a lot of clients who, they've lost out on 12 or 15 offers because they won't waive the inspection. They are just going to continue until they get an offer accepted that does have that opportunity to inspect the home.
Right.
In a lot of cases, those are houses that are older than 25, 30 years. And, when you're getting older, things, if some things haven't been updated, there's a lot of stuff to learn.
Yeah.
And in those cases, I certainly would, if my kids were buying a house, I'd say, you just wait till you can get it inspected.
Yeah.
And if you can't, post closing,
Yeah.
get at least learn about the house. And that's where I try to teach as much as possible, not just, find, well, what are the 4 broken things here? There's much more to it. You want to learn about your house.
Yeah. Good advice
Yeah, thanks.
from the handsome bald guy, right?
Yeah.
I always ask Steve how people can reach him, and that's kind of his tagline. But as we continue to move forward into the spring market, we are going to see more inventory as the temperatures increase. What I've seen every year is we do get more inventory. We get more opportunities. Remember, be sure your agent is looking MLS, non-MLS. Work with a top agent who has access to a lot of the non-MLS inventory that is out there in the Twin Cities. It is out there. There is stuff happening, deals happening. Be sure your agent has access to that. Super important, Steve. I can't stress that enough.
If you want to find a place, you got to be innovative.
Yeah.
And your team certainly is innovative.
Innovative it is. April 16th, hard to believe. It's already Easter weekend. The spring market is upon us here already. Again, MN Real Estate Show throughout the week is how you can catch us. Did have another question come in regarding title insurance. It looks like Tabitha is texting, had asked about different types of title insurance, whether or not to get an owner's policy of title insurance. We do recommend that at closing. That's something that you pay at closing. Getting that owner's policy protects your interest in the property. And so that's something that is optional that you pay for at closing, but it is something we definitely encourage people to do because, Steve, there can be issues with title.
Like
different encumbrances, things that may pop up, prior owners. Here we go. We're going back live. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, welcome back. It's been a fun show. It's been a busy show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hope your weekend is going well. And got to give a shout out, Steve. We're doing a new 201 investment property seminar. So if you go to mnrealestateteam.com, you click on seminars, you'll see all of our different seminars. We do a kind of welcome to investment property. If you want to be an investor, I put that one on every other month, learning about how to buy investment property, how to rent out investment property, how to kind of the ins and outs of what I've learned over the last 20 years of being in that world here personally. We also do a 101.5 investment property, which is a follow-up to that. David Meyer, who called in earlier, does that seminar, which is a little more detailed about investment property. Great seminar that he does. We do a first-time homebuyer seminar. Charlie Leimer, great guy, great agent. He does that seminar every other month. If you're a first-time homebuyer, parent of a first-time homebuyer. By the way, these are all free. There's no obligation with any of them. And then lastly is this 201 investment property, where we pick a topic. This month's topic is all about evictions. Scott Fisick, who is the owner of a company called Rental Management Guys. They're a property management company. It's coming up here at the end of the month, the 26th, I believe, which is a Wednesday. Got to look at my calendar to verify that. The 27th, which is a Wednesday. Scott's doing this seminar. It's called How, If, and When to Evict Your Tenant. Scott says this can be an intimidating process for most landlords. Most, and some, he said, wait too long to finally evict. Many landlords may have never filed an eviction, with lots of pitfalls in the process. It's easy to make a mistake and lose your case. There are also alternatives to eviction, which may still benefit the landlord. Come and learn some tips and tricks on how, when, and if to file an eviction. Hear from Scott Fisick, broker owner of Rental Management Guys, who has filed literally hundreds of evictions over the last 15 years while being a property owner and property manager. That guy, if you need an eviction, he knows anything and everything about it.
Tough side of the business, but very critical to understand and be capable in it.
Right. MN Real Estate Team or mnrealestateshow.com if you go to seminars. And that's the 201 Investment Property Seminar coming up here on the 27th. Hey, one last listing, Steve. We can't forget Mr. Wolmering. Scott, who had an appointment, couldn't join us today, but he has got an awesome listing. This is listed at $1.199 million. And the address is 7575 East 250th Street in Elko, New Market. It's a brand new listing. Just came onto the market. It's 4-bed, 3-bath. It's an executive rambler. It's on a 10-acre lot with literally over $250,000 in interior updates. No need to go on vacation, he said, this summer with your own private resort. It's like a private oasis in your background with an in-ground saltwater pool, custom outdoor kitchen and bar, expansive paver pool and fire pit, so much more. Check out the pictures online. Again, Scott Wolmering has that listed, 7575 East 250th Street in Elko, New Market. $1.199 million. Beautiful property, looking at the photos as well.
Sounds like it. I hope it comes with the wait staff.
Right?
I mean, he said resort, right?
A lot of great stuff. It's been a busy show. A lot of information here again this week. Steve, last thoughts for people in our final segment from your space, from the home inspection world.
Well, from my world, right now we are coming from the deep freeze. It's still cold out there, but we're going to be coming through a thaw, and we're going to be heading into the rainy times. So homeowners, prospective buyers, focus on water coming off the house. Clean the gutters, gutter extensions, test your sump pump. Be prepared here for water accumulating around the foundation, and a lot of water seepage into basements can be avoided by taking care of things now on the exterior.
Yeah, I had a nice comment on social media coming from Thomas Fetch. Thank you, Thomas. He says, great show, Ryan and Steve. Is there merit for a home seller to have a home inspection prior to putting their home on the market?
Certainly knowledge is power. So the more you would know as a home seller, you're either going to address things that potentially could derail a transaction. You would either fix things or you could at least disclose. So depending on the severity or the concern, and that's where having a very savvy, capable realtor could help guide you through, well, what is my best choice here?
Had another text. Brad from Blaine says, inspections during these times of multiple offers, do you make an offer contingent on inspection, or do you just do an inspection just so you know?
Yes.
Good point. Yeah, so you can do it, and that's a really good point. Thank you, Brad. You can do the inspection without making a contingent on it. So in other words, you can't bail like that initial question that came in about the people bailing on the inspection.
Yeah, and I think some other, I'm not on the negotiating side, but oftentimes I hear the terms being discussed, and they'll go forward with an inspection, but they're always cautioned, okay, we're only going to be requesting large ticket items. And then they define, well, what does large mean? Is it an expense that's going to exceed 5, 8, how many thousands before we ask for something? So, a lot of hazardous things are not terribly expensive to correct.
Yeah, absolutely. A great question. Thank you. Again, whether it's phone, text, social media, wherever you might be catching us, truly appreciate it. Hope you and your families have a great rest of this weekend too. Where is the market going to go? What's going to happen? Of course, no one has that crystal ball. However, I do believe we're going to see more inventory. I don't think the rising rates is a bad thing at all. I think it's causing a little bit of a deeper breath, perhaps, by some of the buyers, by the market, and I see more of a healthy appreciation and demand moving forward in the Twin Cities market. I don't see any massive bubble. I don't see any like we experienced in 2006, 7, 8, with huge collapse in values. I personally don't see that happening. This is just a very unique time, again, with limited building that's happened over the last 5 and 10 years, and builders not being able to keep up again with supplies, with labor. Steve, there is just not enough housing out there, and people need to live somewhere.
Yep, absolutely true. And I would say, from my perspective, the dynamics of what was going on in the market now versus when we had the 2006, 2008 bubble, completely different, factors that were driving the market compared to now.
Yeah, Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans. He and his team really do a very nice job. Again, whether you are thinking about a purchase, a refinance, questions, don't forget all the different types of loan types. Everybody always does, like Scott always says, the 30-year mortgage, but people end up staying on average a far shorter time. So yeah, the stability of knowing is a good thing. But I can tell you, a lot of investors, for example, I know who do commercial loans. If you go to a local bank or a commercial lender, they may amortize the loan after over 30 years, but it may be a balloon after 5, 7, 10 years, where you're locking in on today's rates. But I think my point, I guess, is that investors sometimes realize that there is risk. There's always unknown, but we know what's happening here right now today. And sometimes locking in, getting the lower rate, allowing you to purchase what you would like to. If you hold on to the home for 5, 7, 10 years, good things happen, Steve.
Yeah. So connect with Mike so you learn your options and, make an informed decision. I heard some clients the other day talking about a 40-year mortgage. I'd never heard of such a thing. But they were chatting about 40-year mortgages.
40-year?
40-year. I had never heard of that, but it's a thing.
40-year mortgage. Had one other question came in here regarding personal property and valuation of personal property in the purchase agreement itself. Very good question. It sounds like there may be some valuable items that are not affixed to the property. Remember that that's separate from the home, though. That is separate from the home. So the appraiser is going to look at the real property itself. They're not going to look at the pool table, all these other nice, expensive things, the piano.
The big tractor.
You're right.
Yeah. Some of those can be pricey.
Hey, how do people get a hold of you, Steve Stalock, home inspection?
952-891-4455. Because you didn't have a pen and paper, you go to mnrealestateshow.com. Great website. Look under preferred partners, click on home inspections, and, look for that handsome bald guy. That's me.
Yeah, great job, bud. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
It's been a fun show. Hope you have a nice rest of the weekend here, everybody, April 16th. Thanks for tuning in to us and to our show. Happy birthday to Kevin Curtis today. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Thanks for joining us. Hope you and your families have a wonderful Easter weekend. We'll be back next week. Steve, good work there, bud.
Thanks. Go have a great week. Go get busy.
Yeah, have a great weekend. We'll see you next Saturday, and